Have you been looking at a tabletop frame for your home sewing machine? Something to help step up your free motion quilting game? Well, in today's video, we're going to show you how to set up the Juki Tabletop fabric frame. This frame is fantastic and works on a variety of different home sewing machines. So without further ado, let's set up this frame and get started. Okay, so the first step is going to be unboxing everything out of the box. So let's just go ahead and take everything out of the box and lay it on the table as organized as we can. Ready? So now that we have everything taken out of the box, we're going to go ahead and get the machine carriage. This is where your machine's going to be sitting, and the rail that is underneath, that's going to roll to the side. So this is how it rolls forward and backwards. This is how it rolls to the side. We're going to put this to the side because we won't need this. It's pretty much already assembled. We won't need this till the very end of the setup, so let's just go ahead and throw this to the side. That way we have more room on our table. Okay, so now that I've got everything taken out of the box, I also went ahead and took things out of plastics and took some little wrappings off. These are the bungees that are going to hold your quilt. I'm going to leave those wrapped just because it's actually going to make it easier. So that's one thing that I left wrapped up. I also want to highlight that it comes with a variety of different cords for your foot pedal. They're just extension cords. This is going to be the angled barrel jack extension cable. This is going to be the one that you're going to use for your Juki TLs. If you have a different sewing machine, if you're watching this and you have a different machine, then you'll have to just figure out what plugs into your machine and what would plug into your foot pedal to extend that cord for you. So that's what we're going to be using, the angled barrel jack extension cable. So the first step is going to be assembling the frame tracks, and this is what allows the carriage to move horizontally across the frame. So what we're going to do is I have all of my frames for the tracks right here. You can see there's two of the identical ones and then two of the identical ones over here. We're just going to grab one of these and one of these, and you're just going to go ahead and plug it on in. And the side that's going to plug into is going to see, you're going to see there's a hole that lines up with this little push pin. And the rubber sides are going to both be on the top like this. You're just going to push it in like that. And then when you flip it over, it should look like this, all the holes, and the rubber should be on the back side. So we're going to go ahead and do that twice. I am just following along the manual here on the side. I have set this one up before for our quilt show at the Paducah and the Raleigh show, but I am just following the instructions because the instructions for this is actually really, really good. So here is the second rail set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just flip these over like this. So you're going to grab your M4x20 ULPSH screws, and you're going to grab these plastic little rails, and this is what goes on top here, just like that, and like this. Now it does come with Allen keys, but I prefer to use mine just because I do a lot of setups, and these Allen keys are absolutely fantastic compared to the ones that they usually give you. So you're just going to put these bolts in like this, and you're not going to snug it up, you're just going to get them so it's holding the track in place, and then we'll snug them up here in a few seconds once we actually get the little rail liner that goes inside of the track. So we're just going to go ahead and put these in. There's going to be 6 bolts for each rail system, and there's 2 rails. So we're going to go ahead and get our plastic rail sleeve, and this is just going to slide into the sides of these rails. So if you look here, on the side of the rail, there's a little slot, and you're just going to slide this in. Might be hard for you to see, but you're just going to slide this in, so that way it just goes into the side here, and you're going to notice it's going to bind up and hit where there's the joint. So that's why we leave this loose, is because you're going to be able to move those around, so you can kind of just push these rails back and forth until it slides all the way in. Once you get it slid all the way in like that, you're going to go ahead and repeat this process on the next 3 little spots. So we got 1 on this one and then 2 on the other one. So you're just going to go ahead and repeat that process. And then once we get these all in, then we can go back and snug up the bolts on the top. And once you get to that joint, if you want to just push your finger on both sides before you tighten that one, that's fine. You want to make that as seamless as possible so when your machine's rolling across that seam, it doesn't know that there's a little bit of a raise right there. So we're going to go ahead and just tighten these up. The next step, now that we have our rails all ready to go, you're going to get your 4 corner brackets and you're going to put your rails laid out like this. And what you want is the front one closest to you. There's holes on the back. Those should be facing in towards the other rail, and same thing with the other rail. there's going to be holes facing towards the other rail, because that's how the brackets attach. Then you're going to grab your bracket, and you can see this bracket with this little flat piece here and this little triangle piece facing up is going to go to the back right corner, and you can see how it fits on there just like that. So you got your holes lining up down there on the bottom, and then you've got your corner piece covering up that side rail that we just put together. And you're going to do that same process for all four and just get those ready to go. So you got one there, one over there in the corner, the front one, same thing. See how those holes line up on the back, and then you got that little triangle kind of covering that side, just like that. You're just going to repeat that process for all four of these until you get your brackets in the right spot. Now that we have everything laid out properly, we can go ahead and put our bungee slides onto our brackets here. And this is just a spot to store these bungee slides when you're not using them. So you're just going to go ahead and store those on there now. You can do this step later. It's not really a big deal to do it later or now. Just following the order in which the instructions are showing us to do this. So we're just going to go ahead and put these on now. Now we're going to grab our M5 by 8mm SBHCS screws, and that's how we're going to attach these brackets. And again, don't tighten them down. You're going to grab your 3mm Allen key, and you're just going to go ahead and put these on here. Again, we don't want to over tighten it, so just get it a little bit snug, but not too tight, because to line everything up, you're going to want it kind of loose so everything lines up. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this process for all four brackets. Just like that, I now have all these brackets on my rails. And again, this is how it should look. You should have this little piece covering the sides, and they should screw in there. Remember not to over tighten them. Now that we've got those on there, our next step is to get this rail here, and this is part of the frame, or this is a frame, I guess you would call it. And you're going to go ahead and get the right side and the left side. The right side, these little clips are going to be facing on the inside. So you can see here, I've got this laid out, how it's going to look. And this is easiest to do on a big flat table or on the ground. So that's how it should look. You should have these little clips or these little levers facing the inside of the frame, just like that. And then now you're going to go ahead and put in the M5 by 8, the same bolts we put in those other brackets in the tops here. So now you got 8 of these as well. And now is when you're going to really hope that you didn't over tighten those bolts, because you want to get everything lined up. And it's easier when they're loose. So we're going to go ahead and put these all in. And as you can see, my Allen key tool that I got here is just so much faster than using a standard Allen key. Okay, so now that we have all 4 of our brackets in place, our frame is really starting to come together and starting to look done. But before we tighten down all 16 of those bolts, you're going to want to grab your carriage here, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find where it says back and front, and I'm just going to go ahead and put on, see these 2 little holes here? You're going to grab your encoder bracket, which this will be if you're using a sure stitch regulator in the future. You might not be using one right away, so you might not even need to put this on, but it's nice to just go ahead and have it on there. It's not going to get in the way, and it's one less part to lose or misplace. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. This is going to be the same bolts that we used for our brackets, the M5 by 8mm. And you're going to go ahead and just put 2 of those in the back here. I'm going to go ahead and lay my carriage down onto the frame itself, making sure all the wheels are coming in contact with these rails. And the goal here is to make sure the frame is all square. And how you can check that is by just rolling this carriage back and forth, making sure all the wheels come in contact with the rail itself. And then you're just going to want to pull the outer edges in, make sure those are nice and tight. Roll this thing back and forth a couple times, and if you push down on it while you roll it, it should actually move the frame into place where it needs to be. So just do this a couple times, making sure these wheels are coming in contact with your rail system here. And then you can go ahead and tighten down all 16 of your bolts. And then once you tighten these down, go ahead and roll that carriage one more time. Make sure everything looks nice and straight and the wheels are coming in contact with your rail system. Next step is going to be putting your top plate onto your carriage. You're going to go ahead and grab this, but before we do that, we need to put the encoder bracket onto the side. So it's going to be on the back left corner of your carriage. You're just going to do the same thing we did on the back. You're going to grab the same M5 by 8 millimeter, and it's going to be a 3 millimeter Allen key. Go ahead and put that bracket on. You can go ahead and set this back down onto the carriage, roll it back and forward, make sure it's on there. Now you're going to get your top plate clamps, and these are what the clamps are going to look like. When you tighten them, the bottom becomes nice and tight and doesn't want to move. When you loosen it, it should wiggle like this. You're going to have them loosened. You're going to put them in this little crevice, and then you can go ahead and lock it down. It's going to hold nice and tight. So you can go ahead and just leave them loose because we need to go get our machine and drop that in next. So we're going to go ahead and put these top plate clamps on. And again, you want to have them loose like that. Put all 4 in, and then now we can actually grab our machine and put it onto the tabletop frame. Now this is also going to be where you're going to want to refer back to your instructions, because if you're putting like a non-Juki machine on this, then you might not need this top plate. It might just sit right directly on this rail. But for pretty much all the Juki home sewing machines, you're going to need this top plate. So we're going to go ahead and leave that top plate on there. We're going to use a Juki TL18. So we're just going to go ahead and put that on there like that, and we can scoot it so that way the bottom 4 legs are in contact with the top plate, and you want to try to get this as centered as possible on this top plate. So what I like to do is kind of just center the needle up with the center of this. Just kind of look up there, and then make sure the machine looks like it's the same distance. You can use a measuring tape to kind of measure off the sides or just eyeball it. Go ahead and tighten down those top floor clamps, and now your machine will not come off the top plate side to side or forward or backward because those top plate clamps are holding it down in place. Okay, so the next step is going to be putting your take-up rails together and putting it on the frame. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to locate the rail that says long take-up rail and the one that says short take-up rail, and these are going to slide together just like this. You'll see that the holes should all line up, and that's what's actually going to go right here. And then your next step is going to be to get your short front rail and your long front rail, and go ahead and do the same process and put those two together just like that. Now you can slide them together, and once you get them slid together, you're just going to go ahead and use your 2 millimeter wrench to go into this little slot here, and there's going to be a little bolt that you're just going to tighten down, a little set screw. And you should only have to really do one side, but go ahead and double check all 4 of them while you're there. And if they're not sliding together, a little note is maybe that set screw has moved forward, so they're not going to want to slide together. So just go in there, loosen it up a little bit, and then try to slide them together. So there you have it. You've got your short take-up rail on the left side, your long take-up rail on the right side, and it should just sit right down into this little piece right here, and that's what locks that into place just like that. So now we can go ahead and work on our front ones. Same exact process. So this side is the side that needs to be tightened. Just like that. Just like that, and then I'm going to go ahead and check back my other 2. Now that we have this front rail assembled together, you're going to put the short front rail on the left side of your frame and the long front rail on the right side of your frame, and then you're going to get these extra rails here, and you're going to lay them on each side like that, and you're just going to grab these front little corner brackets. This just kind of fits into this slot right here, and this is kind of hard to do now that my table's space is all taken up, and the idea of it is to go just like that. It should hold all that together. So I want these numbers to face to the right and up so I can visibly see them while I'm working. I'm going to dump out my M4 by 25s, and these are going to be 2 millimeters Actually, no, it's 2.5. Let's find my 2.5. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same thing to both sides, just like this. So when you actually install this in, the numbers will, if you install it the way I did, the numbers will actually be on the bottom side of these rails, and then the screws will not be visible on the top. And then whenever you actually push this in, it's going to slide in like that, and it's going to look just like that. So let me go ahead and slide this in, but the tripod's in the way. Okay, so now that we've got this front rail assembled and ready and pushed back and installed, the install process I kind of couldn't do on video because the tripod kept hitting into it because it needs a lot of room around it. So all you're really going to do is just lift up these little levers here, and it's kind of nice to have two people, and then you're just going to push this front rail into the whole system, and it goes forward and backwards just like that. So that's pretty easy. Once you get that installed, you can push it all the way back. For most of the Jukis, you really won't need that front rail to go any farther forward. That's for larger throat space machines. Maybe on the DX4000 or NX7, you might need that to be extended a little bit more than that setting, but we'll go over that adjustment here in a few minutes. This take-up rail here is going to go ahead and go through the throat space of your machine. You're just going to lay it down on here. If it's not falling into place, rotate it. The sticker should say long take-up rail on this right side. Once that's there, you're just going to pull this up, push that over, lock that into place. And then what you want to do is you want to roll your machine all the way over to the right, and you want about a finger width of space underneath this rail here. So you want about a finger underneath that rail. If it's more or less, then all you're going to do is you're just going to crack this lever here on the side, and you're just going to lift this up until it's about a finger width of space underneath that rail. Once you have that proper spacing, you can go ahead and lock that. You're going to move it to the left and repeat that process. If it's more or less than a finger gap, then you can go ahead and crack that lever and push it down or up however much you need to. It doesn't need to be exact. There is lettering on the side here. You could try to copy that lettering. As long as your table's on an even surface, you shouldn't have an issue with that. And then the front one, all you're going to do is push your machine all the way forward like that. This rail is going to run into the throat of your machine like that, and you want this front rail to be about an inch or two away from your needle like it is here. Now this is pushed back all the way, so of course you can't push it back any closer. So that's how this has got to be set up. Now keep in mind, once you load this with fabric and all of that, then you're going to obviously want to make more adjustments depending on the thickness of your quilt and batting. This is just a rough install here. So now that you have all of this ready to go, you're pretty much ready to get ready and start sewing, but you might want to install your sure stitch regulator. You might want to adjust your front handlebars. To do that, you just loosen this little knob here, and you can move these up or down or in and out. You can also put this on the back. So there's a lot of different customization you can do with this. You also have your little stopper on the back here that you can loosen and tighten, and that will actually stop your machine. So that way you can do like straight line quilting if you needed to. That's a nice little feature you can lock out on this. Well, just like that, we now know how to set up our Juki Tabletop fabric frame. This is a great little addition to your sewing room that's going to help you level up your free motion quilting capabilities. You can throw on any different type of home sewing machine. It doesn't have to be just a Juki sewing machine. If you're interested in this frame, don't forget to go to jukijunkies.com to check it out. If you have any comments or questions on the install, drop them down in the comment section down below. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit that subscribe button because we try to post every single Sunday at around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you guys next Sunday, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. See you next time.